Hi Aquarius, welcome to your month ahead Tarotscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button. I would be eternally grateful for it. For those of you that are already continued subbies, thank you so much for all of your support. It truly means the world. If you would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, if you would like to get a personal video or even a written reading, you can do so on my website, which is in the description below, and it is at www.reydiantreality.com. Reydiant spelled R-E-Y, not R-A-D. With all of that out the way, let's go straight into your reading. So before we start, I would like to bless all three of these decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what the month of October 2018 has in store for us. So our actions and our interactions with the world at large, and I say our because I am also an Aquarius, as many of you know. Ten of Swords. Wow. So there is an end coming, Aquarius. There is a finite end coming to something. Your actions and your interactions is what you do in the world. The Ten of Swords is an end. It's a completion. Now, the only thing about this card that is actually positive is that it is the end of the cycle. Whenever you get a 10, especially in tarot, in deference to, or should I say indifference to the 9 of, in terms of numerology, the 10 is about completion. It's about attainment. It's about home. Now, the Ten of Swords is not a great card because it usually brings a finite end to something, but it usually brings something that's like sort of almost cataclysmic. The fact that this is the end, this is your, this is the end. Sorry, I know a lot of you right now are like, what the fuck? Why is he laughing? Like, this to me feels like it's about a conscious decision. You are making a conscious decision to end something. You are making a conscious decision to say, right, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Because this is about your actions and your interactions. This is about what we do. This is about what we choose to do, that comes from within. And the Ten of Swords is about an ending. But like I said, although it's a culmination and a completion, this is about a choice. It's about choosing to complete something. It's about choosing to end something. Let's pull another card for this one just to see, to clarify. The Nine of Wands, interesting. So the Nine of Wands, I was talking about completions, ending. So there's definitely an end coming from somewhere, and it's one that we're consciously deciding to do. The thing with the Nine of Wands is it's always about speaking up. It's always about speaking your truth. When you get the Nine of Wands, it's very much the feeling of not being listened to, the feeling of not being heard. And it looks to me like you're speaking your truth this month. And, everybody speaks their truth every single day. What do I mean by that? To get down to the nitty gritty of it, you are choosing to end something by speaking your truth. And it kind of feels to me that by expressing what your viewpoints are, by expressing how you feel about something, by basically standing up and saying, you know what, I've bitten my tongue long enough, I've held back long enough, it's now time for me to say exactly what I think, exactly what I feel, and I'm going to give you the contents of what is actually in my mind. And by doing so, you're speaking your truth. By doing so, you're effectively ending the cycle of feeling like you can't speak. I almost feel like as well, yeah, the culmination of fear are the words that I'm hearing. It's like whatever you've had fear around, whatever has been causing you fear or making you feel like you can't speak out or making you feel like you should bite your tongue or, oh, I can't say that. This is the end of that. In the month of October, you're going to be living in your truth. You're going to be speaking your truth. And it's almost like, not no holds barred. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying go out there and be, monsters or tyrants to everybody and just let everybody have it. What I am saying is that this month it's going to be really important for you to stick to your guns and to speak your truth, to stand up for yourself and say, look, you know what? I've said nothing up until now, and now it's time for me to say something. And by saying something and doing something, you make a decision. You are declaring to a person, to an experience, to an employer, to a partner, to anything. This is the end of this paradigm. This whole cycle that we are in, it ends now. And the reason it ends is because you are standing up to be counted and you are speaking your truth. So, the money and materials for the month of October. Let's have a look. And you've got The Ace of Cups, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Ace of Cups is about wish fulfillment, but it's also the powers of our emotions. And it seems to me like this month you're about your money. This month you are about making life better for yourself. You're making, effectively all the, the peace, the prosperity and the abundance that we talk about, that we say that everybody's entitled to, every human being. This is about you getting in touch with that vibration and saying, right, okay, I'm happy to help everybody else. I'm happy to promote everybody else, but I also want to make sure that I'm coming up now. This is about you putting, your own heart into your money and your materials. And that's not to say, that's quite a difficult experience for Aquarians, because we tend to be like, money, finance or whatever, quite airy about the whole thing. But unfortunately we live in a human world, and it seems to me like this month you're making some really tough decisions. It's like you're going against the grain, you're choosing to do things differently, and you're also saying to yourself, right, okay, I've got hopes and dreams, I've got wishes and aspirations for my material gain, my material success, and this month you're putting things into practice and putting things into place that are going to take you towards it. The Ace of Cups is a beautiful card because it talks really much about wish fulfillment, and it also talks about attaining something that really makes your heart sing. If there's something that you've been wishing for, something that you've been hoping for, something that you've put a lot of work and effort in. The other thing about the Nine of Wands is this guy, the figure on there is a soldier, and he's literally gone through every single experience that he has to go through to make it to his goal, to make it to the achievement, to make it to the accomplishment. So when you read these two together, it kind of says to me that you've put the heart in, you've put the work in, you've put the emotion, everything you've got, the blood, sweat and tears, and this month you start to see some payoff from that. This month you start to see some of the rewards for the hard efforts and hard work that you've put in, and it's something that will make you truly happy. When you get the Ace of Cups, it really is a peak experience of happiness, because it lifts your heart, and and very often as well, when you get that Ace of Cups, it's something so surprising and so happy and so blessed that you're just kind of like, whoa, I never in a million years could have thought that would happen for me or to me. Well, you better believe it. You've put the hard work in, you've put the effort in, you're owning yourself like never before. Money and materials is just one way that the universe can bless you and say, look, you know what? I've seen all of your hard work. Let me help you out. Your communications this month, you get the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, beautiful. The Ace of Wands is about artistic endeavors, it's about passion, it's about fire for life, it's about zest for life. All of the aces as well, this is the other thing to remember, they're all about new beginnings. When you see the Ace of Wands show up, especially in your communication sector, your communications are blessed this month. If you've got letters to write, if you've got proposals that you're putting together, if you've got ideas that you want to be well received, October looks like a great month for you to communicate with people. Maybe not necessarily make them happen or sign any contracts because of the stuff that's going on with the astrology, but this is definitely a time for you to seed things. This is definitely a time for you to put the feelers out and say to people, in a few months I might want to do this. Are you interested? Is it something that's viable for us? Is it a possibility? This is about, it kind of feels to me like you're putting out the feelers. You're speaking to people and you're saying to people, right, okay, do you want to be involved in this? I've got this idea for that. This is your networking. And you're doing it through artistic and creative endeavors. I kind of feel this month you're not only your communications blessed, but you really are rubbing shoulders with the right people. You're putting your heart and your passion into it, but you're also putting your desire and your passion into it. This is really great as well, especially when you think your money and your materials are matching up. You've got water and you've got fire. So you've got emotions and you've got actions. You've got two aces. This is new beginnings. This is brand new things coming in. This is brand new experiences coming in. A peak experience of happiness and a peak experience of creative joy. That's the other thing. When you get the Ace of Wands, this is everything from sex to enjoyment to creativity. And creativity, it's a real buzzword nowadays, and I think people mistake, like when I say creativity, I don't mean you're going to be into expressive dance and that was my bag, or that you're going to be a singer, or that you have to paint. Sometimes that creativity can come through writing. Sometimes it can, and it doesn't have to be writing. you know, very often when you see the Ace of Wands, it's writing a book, it's writing a journal, you know, it's writing a blog, it's all kinds of things like that, very similar to the Page of Wands, because it talks very much about you know, creativity flowing through you and to the page, or into a format that everybody can read, that everybody can digest and take in. But I kind of feel that this is your interaction with people, and you're getting in touch with your creativity. It might just be writing your ideas down, formulating them so that when you present them to people, or when you say to people, look, I've got this shaping up, are you interested? Or even, are you able to help? You know, they can understand where you're coming from. They understand what your message is, what you're trying to deliver. So this looks really positive, really beautiful. Your money and your materials looks great. Your communication sector, you are on fire this month. You have literally Wands fire. You are on fire this month. You know what to say, when to say it. You're highly persuasive this month. You've got a lot of vibrancy for life, and you want other people to feel the vibrancy and the zest that you have within you for life. You're very much about enjoyment this month, which is great. Even with this. So, the heart and half sector, personal relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, family, friends, all of that stuff. And you get the Devil card. Interesting. So the Devil's about something that you're attached to. It's about something that you're, and the words that I'm hearing is that for those of you that are partnered, this is you putting too much time or putting too much mental energy into your relationship. You can't split your focus this month. If you want the success, you're going to have to peel this away a little bit. You're going to have to, you know, loosen the reins and separate a little bit. And when I say loosen the reins, I kind of mean, if you're hanging on to and clinging to one thing with everything that you've got, you can't have that much energy to put into these other things that are shaping up for you. I kind of feel like some of you, especially well, for those of you that are taken, for those of you that are partnered, this very much to me feels like an energy of like, it's almost like you're trying to anticipate things being rocky, but they are. They are rocky, they just are. Leave them as they are. You know, don't, and it's interesting to say this as well, because Aquarians love their freedom, especially within relationships, but I almost feel like you're going to mollycoddle the relationship. And my advice to you is don't do that this month. You know, don't try to tend to it every 5 minutes. Don't, you know, keep a handle on your partner and think, oh, you know, I've got to do this because otherwise my relationship's going to fail. It's not. It's there, it's doing its own thing, and it will continue to do its own thing. You don't need to, and the reason I'm feeling this as well, yeah, is because I'm kind of getting the feeling that a lot of you have been told recently, you know, within the last 2-3 months maybe, that you're, that you come across as unfeeling or uncaring, and for that reason you're kind of going overboard and trying to show, well, actually no, I am caring and I am here. And don't get addicted to that thought pattern. You know, be you within your relationship. That's why somebody partnered up with you in the first place. For those of you that are single, it looks like there's a lot of enjoyment happening this month. It looks like there's, you know, possibly even a little bit of overindulgence, you know, with you're, you know, having fun times with 1, 2 or 3 people. You know, this, yeah. My advice to you would be, be honest and be open. If you're seeing more than one person, speak up. If you want to keep it casual with a specific person, speak up. Don't allow them to believe that it is something that it isn't, because it looks like you might run into problems with that this month. For those of you that are so inclined, if you are, you know, going to go out and party and enjoy, you know, a lot of drinking or anything else that you might enjoy, just try and keep a handle on it, especially if it's in a group setting or, you know, with a close-knit group, because, you know, the Devil card is about things running away with itself. So just keep an eye on that. So the first week of October. The other thing about the Devil card as well, though, is it represents the sign of Capricorn. So, you know, it's about things that are fine, you know, fine food, fine clothing, You know, being restrictive as well. Don't restrict your emotions. For the other scale of the spectrum, you know, for people that are, you know, that hang on to their emotions too tight, that don't speak up and then have to explode and it comes to some final, you know, culminating end. Maybe find some way to express how you truly feel to your partner and say, look, you know what, it doesn't really suit me to feel this way, or it doesn't suit me to have to do so much, you know, work in a relationship. And just by being honest, you'll open up a dialogue. You know, I think that's going to be really important this month for your personal relationships in you know, in any way, shapes or forms. But communication looks good, looks really good, which is why I say speak up. Money and materials looks great, you know, and this in the middle, this is beautiful. There's, you know, some really peak experiences happening for you, and that's really exciting. First week of October, you get the Empress card right underneath the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Wands. So this is very much about being at home within yourself and being okay with speaking your truth. The thing about the Empress card is she knows a lot. Not like the High Priestess. Like the High Priestess is psychic and she picks things up without, you know, anybody being able to tell her. The Empress is able to read people, to understand. So while you're sort of in this space of really speaking your truth and standing up, observe the people around you, observe the environment around you to see how people react, because this is where you're going to see the people that are for you, and this is where you're going to see the people that aren't necessarily for you. But, you know, all in all, actually, the first week of October doesn't look bad, because, you know, the Empress is a beautiful card. It's a card of beauty. It's, you know, it's got links to Venus. She has, you know, that whole, you know, earthy, sensual pleasure going on. So, you know, it can be a bit of a mixed bag for the first week. The second week, you get the Star. We come up in our own reading, you get the Star right underneath the Ace of Cups, which is absolutely stunning. It looks like there is not only a peak experience, but something that you have wanted, something that you have actually dreamt about is shaping up for you. And when I say to you, like, dreamt about, I'm not talking about like, oh, you know, I've got this dream that I want to do this. I mean, you have literally dreamt about this in your sleep. You know, it's something that you want and desire so much that it's penetrated every aspect of your life, whether it's waking or asleep. The second week of October also looks like some kind of opportunity shapes up for you, and that's absolutely stunning. It really, really is. So the third week of October, you get the Hierophant. Very active card this month. It looks like a lot's going to be shaking up with the government in general, and I feel like some of this might filter down to the, you know, to the local governments, to the smaller, you know, the smaller institutions that make up the wider institution. I kind of feel like that's what's going on. You get this right underneath the Ace of Wands, and the Hierophant is basically saying that something becomes more official, something takes a step up, and it's right next to the Star card. Any of these ideas that you've had, you know, anything like a proposal or anything that you put out there is met really well this week. I think it feels to me, even though it's not the specific card that I would look for this experience, it kind of feels to me like people are either seeing you as an authority, or they're understanding your journey on your path and saying, right, you know what, this person will become an authority because they really know their shit. And then finally, the fourth week of October, the Moon card. So the Moon card right underneath the Devil. Yeah, the fourth week of October, I mean, it's Halloween anyway, so you know, you've got all the veil between the worlds is thinnest. It kind of looks to me like there's two experiences that you're going to have. You'll either be getting really deeply spiritual at this time, and really kind of honing your own personal gifts, and, you know, combing over the last year, combing over your, you know, your own past as well, looking into things and delving deep. Some of you might be feeling a bit sort of blue and a bit sallow, so, you know, try and do something that's going to help lift you out of that experience. The other thing as well with the Devil card and the Moon card is they're complementary elements, because the Moon is Pisces ruled, the Devil is Capricorn. So the fourth week of October looks like, although, you know, it's going to be a bit heavier, it will also in some respects, because the Moon, it will also in some respects reveal a lot of truths to you in the spiritual vernacular. And the good thing about that is I kind of feel like you'll come across some sort of internal wisdom, some kind of ancient wisdom or ancient truth that you will discover by feeling it, by experiencing it. So, you know, be alert, be in touch with your body around this time, which is one of the reasons I say, you know, go out, enjoy yourself, but don't take it to excess, because the chances are there'll be downloads and stuff that are trying to come through for you, and you're going to need to be moderately conscious in order for that stuff to come through, for you to understand the message enough for you to weave it into your life and into your work. So your key to the month card, you get the Fool. Beautiful. So the Fool actually is linked to us, it's linked to Aquarius, because it represents the world and it also represents Uranus. So this is pretty amazing. The Fool card kind of says that this month, although you've got all of this going on and some weeks are a bit of a mixed bag, it kind of says that new things, new people are coming in. There'll be new opportunities, things that come in for you that you just can't anticipate, things that come in for you. I'm just, because the light there, things that come in for you that are really, you know, that are just completely different. And this goes back to what I was saying here earlier. I kind of feel like there's going to be a peak experience of happiness, and it's almost going to be like, wow, you know what, I never in a million years thought that this would happen to me or for me, or it could happen for me. With the Star card there, you know, tapping into the Fool card energy, tapping into the Ace of Cups energy, this kind of feels that, it feels to me like no matter what the difficulties are this month, there's going to be some bits of it that are literally our peak experiences that you think, wow, you know what, I would have to have been in the right place at the right time for this, because I never thought it could happen to me. And this thing, it feels like it's going to be quite life-changing. You know, whether it's a slow burner or not, I can't tell you, but what I can tell you is that something comes in this month that completely changes everything for you going forward. Let me know what it is and I will do the same. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing month, and I'll see you very soon for more videos. Take care.